Hello and welcome to Z. In this episode, we will discuss what happened if the Earth is doubled its size. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. Our solar system is home to a number of planets, some of which are enormous. But what if they grew to be an even greater size? Let's advance to the next level on the chart of planetary sizes and find out what type of mayhem might result from doubling the size of each planet. If the radius of every planet in the solar system were doubled, the masses of all of the planets would increase by a factor of 8. However, you would not need to be concerned about the huge ball of fire that comprises our solar system becoming larger and hotter. Let's pretend for the sake of this experiment that the Sun is exactly the same size as it is now. Nevertheless, consider the possibility that the gravitational attraction of a super-Jupiter could set in motion a series of processes that would ultimately lead to the collapse of the solar system. But before we go any farther down that chain, I'd want to take a moment to thank Established Titles, who is supporting our event. My reputation as the Lord of What If precedes me everywhere I go. At the very least, they will do so very soon. Established Titles provides people from all over the world with the opportunity to take part in a tradition that originated in Scotland, in which landowners are addressed as lords, lairds, or ladies. You can become a lord or lady by purchasing just 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland. If you do so, you will be granted the title of lord or lady. And to help maintain not only the natural diversity of Scotland, but also the reforestation activities being made all around the world, Established Titles plants 1 tree for each order that is placed. The title of Lord Peter certainly has a majestic sound to it. The rocky planet that is located closest to the Sun is just marginally bigger than the Moon as it is now sized. If its dimensions were doubled, its mass would be close to 1/5 of that of Earth. And despite the fact that Mercury stopped being volcanically active 3.5 billion years ago, enlarging its interior would imply that all of that internal energy would need to escape somewhere. This would mean that Mercury would need to find a way to vent it. Therefore, it is possible that in the future there will be some more explosive volcanic eruptions on Mercury. The size of Venus is quite comparable to that of Earth. However, one of the many things that set it apart from our planet is the fact that its atmosphere is so dense that the surface pressure is 95 times higher than ours. The increasing gravitational attraction of Venus would bring the planet's atmosphere even closer to the surface. This might result in the atmosphere becoming so dense that moving through it would seem more like moving through water than it would like walking through air. The only difference is that you would actually be moving through a very dense cloud of carbon dioxide. If the Earth were to double in size, the first significant difference you would notice is that you would experience a significant increase in your sense of weight. In a matter of seconds, you'd go from weighing 75 kilograms, 165 pounds, to having the sensation of being 150 kilograms, 330 pounds. This would be the case due to the fact that the gravitational pull exerted on you would be increased by a factor of 2. Because of the strain that this will have on your body, you had better start hitting the weights as soon as possible. Because of this, your heart would have to pump blood at a rate that is twice as fast, and the strain that is placed on your joints would increase. It's possible that activities like jumping, flying, and firing rockets into space will become obsolete in the future. If you wanted to leave the surface of the Earth and go through its considerably denser atmosphere, you would want a great deal more fuel, power, and money. If the size of the red planet were to double, there is a good likelihood that you would not even recognize it. What was once an arid and desolate area may one day evolve into a planet that is more similar to Earth in appearance, complete with oceans, rivers, and a dense atmosphere. Mars' magnetic field and later its atmosphere disappeared, most likely as a result of chemical reactions that occurred within the planet's core. However, if the Martian core grew in size and temperature, it might be able to reignite the planet's magnetic field. The result of this would be that Mars would be shielded from the effects of solar winds, hence increasing the likelihood that it might support life. Even if its size were to increase by a factor of 2, Jupiter would still be an intimidatingly large planet. Its size would remain 318 times that of Earth, and its mass would continue to be 2.5 times more than that of all the other planets combined. The repercussions of this would be so significant that it would almost certainly cause a realignment of the center of our solar system. You have to understand that the planets that make up our solar system do not necessarily rotate around the Sun. They do not, rather, they revolve around the barycenter, which is the common center of mass. And because Jupiter is the typical size that it is, this barycenter is actually located 48,000 kilometers, 30,000 miles, distant from the center of the Sun. However, if this distance were doubled, the point in space in question would travel even further from the Sun. You'd witness material being dragged toward Jupiter or further out into the solar system that originated from the asteroid belt. But even at its current size, Jupiter does not have the mass necessary to develop into a full-fledged star. It would need to rise to 85 times its current mass in order for it to accomplish that, but even then it wouldn't be far off from becoming a star. Jupiter has the potential to evolve into a brown dwarf star if its mass has increased by 13 times. You could say goodbye to Saturn's breathtaking rings if you had a larger version of the planet. The massive rise in the surface gravity of the planet would throw off the equilibrium of the components that make up the rings, as well as Saturn's 5 minor moons. They would begin their descent toward its surface at an accelerated rate. Already, Saturn is beginning to gradually shed its rings. The amount of water contained in the stuff that rains down to Earth every half an hour is sufficient to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The ice giant Uranus, which is located on the outskirts of the solar system, would not see very significant changes other than an increase in its mass because of this. It would continue to hold the title of the planet with the most offensive odor. If increasing the size of Uranus by a factor of 2 would also result in an increase of the concentration of hydrogen sulfide in the planet's upper atmosphere by a factor of 2, this putrid planet may emit an even more potent odor of rotten eggs. This planet is off limits to me at all costs. The destiny of Neptune wouldn't be all that unlike to that of its enormous frozen neighbor, except that the increasing gravitational force of Neptune could, in the long run, cause some or all of the billions of frozen objects that are placed outside its orbit to vanish. The amount of material from the Kuiper Belt that Neptune has already consumed is roughly comparable to between 7 and 10 times the mass of Earth. If Pluto were to become twice as large, it might be able to get back on track to regaining its status as an official planet. It is possible that it will be able to reunite with the rest of its family if the additional mass and gravity it possesses is able to successfully clear the debris from its surrounding area. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's safe to declare that even if every planet in the solar system doubled in size, it wouldn't exactly bring about the catastrophic end of the solar system. Nevertheless, it would result in a little bit of turmoil. But not even close to as much as if the Sun grew to the point that it might consume the Earth. This is all for now. Thank you for being with us.